Marcus,
Howdy.
how are we doing?
Good stuff, Billy. What have we got for us today?
Man, I was waiting at the airport for like an hour and a half. So we've got some special corals from Perth that were collected from Karratha and Exval. So we've got 2 boxes here, mainly LPS, but I think the supplier's given us a couple of goodies, so I'll get Jack to give me a hand. Jack, can you give me a hand?
Yep.
I'll grab this box.
Why is he saying there might be
No,
a
no. Oh, shit, sorry. Sorry, man. Bear with us. I'll just grab the other box, man. Too easy. And that's it.
Hi everyone, my name is Marcus.
And I'm Jack.
And you're watching the Reef Nerd YouTube channel. So obviously at the moment it's a bit hard to come into your local fish store and browse the coral and things like that. And it's even harder to be at your local fish store on a day where they're actually unboxing freshly delivered coral. So that's why I'm here. I'm going to film the whole thing, show you a little bit about how unboxing in a local fish store works, and give you some eye candy on some of the latest and greatest coral that's just arrived. Jack, where has this coral come from?
The coral has come from a collector in Perth. It's a good friend of ours who usually only exports, so we should be in for a bit of a treat. Obviously not much export is happening right now, so yeah, I'm pretty excited to get stuck into it.
I understand that most of the coral in here is going to be predominantly LPS because it's come from a particular region off Perth near the Ningaloo Reef, which is known for that kind of coral. But I'll be sure to get some great footage of any of the super special pieces that we're seeing in here.
So today for dipping our coral, I'm going to use the 2 little fishies Revive. This particular dose rate is 40 ml per 3.8 litres or gallon. Primarily because this order is LPS, we're using something just for antibacterial, just to combat any brown jelly or anything that these corals might experience, as they've been in transit for about 30 hours. So we just want to reduce anything that is stress caused.
So as Jack said, these corals have been in transit for about 30 hours, and that's because they've come from Perth via express courier. But at the moment, couriers aren't the quickest, even though it still has travelled a long distance. It's gone from Perth to Sydney, Sydney to Melbourne, and as you saw from that footage that I showed just before, Billy just arrived straight from the airport to deliver it to the shop. It's common for corals that travel overseas via export to be in transit for upwards of 48 or even 72 hours. So it really comes down to the packing method of the collector on how they store the corals and prepare them for delivery all around the world. So we're in these polystyrene boxes that we're sitting on here, but as you'll see when we unpack them, every coral is probably going to be individually bagged in its own water. So everything is bagged, double bagged, and by the looks of it, triple bagged.
Airport kind of guidelines or laws, everything has to be in a polystyrene box and then in a big bag, just for leakages. You do not want salt water leaking in an aeroplane. One bag, and then individual bags with the metal clamp that looks on. Should be some pretty interesting stuff. There's some seahorses there. So for the seahorses, their bag is pretty cold. So I'm just going to float them to start with. So our seahorses are all warmed up, so they can now go get out of their bags and into their new home. I never usually pour seahorses through a net because they're usually quite spiny and they get stuck, so I just gently lift them out and let them go. So that's a male with the pouch there. It's another boy.
So this whole tank you've got here is dedicated for seahorses, right?
Yeah. So we usually have quite a few varieties available. They're quite empty at the moment. But usually we have Barbari, Cuda, Reddy, and then the Elongatus, which are these guys from WA. You can see some of the Barbari are floating upside down in there, like this guy. They actually get air bubbles stuck in their pouch, which we have to remove. So that's, yeah, quite common with the seahorses to get those air bubbles, especially the males. We got some spider sponge in. Spider sponge is NPS sponge, not a coral. So it requires quite a lot of food and doesn't really care about light. So plenty of amino acids and powdered foods that are broadcast fed. Best fed at night time, but can be during the day. Would probably be more receptive to food at night.
They're a real striking coral, obviously, by the sponge. They're not technically a coral, but yeah, the white contrast with the orange and the patterning on them is really, really interesting. Although, one thing to note, they're probably not something that we would recommend for beginners. It's more of an intermediate to advanced thing to give spider sponge a go because of the care requirements. Alright, so I hope that gave you a bit of insight into how we unbox corals in a shop. I know it's frustrating at the moment that you can't come down to browse all these corals, but we do have some good news on that regard.
Yeah, so all these corals will be catalogued and uploaded to our new website, which I've just spent a lot of time redoing. And then we're looking at doing a metro delivery for all our coral. So that's Melbourne customers. So likely on Wednesday or a Thursday that we're going to drive out across Melbourne and deliver. So stay tuned for that. The pricing will be around $20 to $25 flat rate, so you can order as much as you want.
And the new website, the URL, I'll have linked down below, but I think it's
rgaquarium.com.au.
Alright, as always, I hope you found this video interesting. Thanks for watching. My name is Marcus.
And I'm Jack.
And you've been watching the Reef Nerd YouTube channel. Bye for now.